morning, everyone. It is Monday and I have already got up. I've gone for a 5k run. I have sorted the dogs, sorted the chickens, sorted the new chickens who are settling in wonderfully. It's definitely an adjustment having a cockerel. There is a lot of humping that happens that I don't think I was properly prepared for. But genuinely, I cannot put into words how wonderful it is having a cockerel sound in your garden. Obviously, I know it's not for everyone. I honestly can't understand how anyone doesn't like the sound of a cockerel. It is the most wonderful thing to wake up to in the morning. I feel like this is what has been missing from my house all this time. And I know that a lot of the time cockerels are quite, like, people don't really keep them because they obviously don't lay and they can be seen as a noise nuisance. I mean, where we live, there is so much noise of nature. Like, even now there are birds tweeting, but like the pheasants are noisy, the lambs are noisy. You can get a lot of noise. So I think there could be a lot of worse things that you could listen to than a cockerel. And I love it. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me, my mum, when my mum and dad divorced, my mum didn't have any money. And I don't think my mum left the country for, it must have been 20 years after my mum and dad broke up. I've never been abroad with my mum. Well, no, sorry, that's a lie. When my mum and dad were together, we went abroad. I think we went to like Italy and Barbados and things like that. But when my mum divorced my dad, I have never been abroad with my mum. How weird is that? I know that there's lots of people that haven't been abroad at all, but I've travelled since I was little, so it was like, it's so strange that I've never really like gone away. That's definitely something that should probably change. We just have to learn to stomach each other a little bit better. Where was I going with that story? Oh, so where she would take us was she would take us around England, and she took us to so many places like Scotland and Somerset. And and this is the one that I remember. Obviously this is before the times of Airbnb, and it was all sort of just real life bed and breakfasts. And she took us to stay on a farm, and I think we were either staying in the farmhouse in like a bed and breakfast, or were we sleeping in a caravan on site? But like they had like one caravan, I can't remember, or I played in their caravan, I can't remember. But it was in the Somerset countryside. If you haven't been to Somerset, it is so beautiful. And now whenever I hear cockerels, it always reminds me of that. It also reminds me of Italy, because where our house is in Italy, which also then is so funny. Just none of it makes sense even when I talk about it, but my mum's mum and dad, my nonna and nonno, have a house in Italy as well. And we would always go there when we were kids. Like my mum would send us there for a couple of months when they were getting divorced, and we would just be rocking around in Italy with our nonna and nonno. It was great, I loved it. But again, they backed onto farmland. And so anyway, what I would say is, give cockerels a chance. If you have the land and you know you've got nice understanding neighbours that maybe enjoy the sounds of the English countryside, I genuinely don't believe that there is a sound more beautiful than that of a cockerel in the English countryside. It isn't the English countryside if you don't have that sound, in my humble opinion. And so if you can, I would say do it, because first of all, he's beautiful, but second of all, it's just wonderful. And they're such, like, I feel like they get such a bad rep, and they're just not like that anyway. I don't know how we got onto this subject, but anyway, it is my lead up to my birthday week this week, and I don't know how I've managed this. This is life goals, in all honesty. I don't think I have ever done this in my 15 years doing this. I have never managed to do this. But this week, other than vlogging, which is what I do every day anyway, so it doesn't really bother me, I enjoy vlogging and talking to you and telling you about everything, I've essentially got the week off. I mean, how does that even happen? And when I say I've got the week off, my team will still be working, so I will still be answering things and like having to do things, but I don't have any sponsored content because I got it all done last week. I think what Carrie did was she like orchestrated me getting it all done before this week, so I've got it off, and that was very clever. Props to having a best friend who's that smart. So I've started this Monday really lovely, and I'm very, very happy, and I'm in a very good mood, and I slept very well last night, and I'm like, what do I do with my day? Well, I would say I probably want to start off in the garden. And then I'm gonna go and ride my boy in the evening because Claudia is now back from her honeymoon. I want to take her a little gift. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because sourdough is not my entire personality at the moment, okay? I'm gonna make her a loaf of bread and take her a card, which, oh my gosh, I feel like I've got so much to tell you. I've just been sat planning my April content on my Kindle Scribe, which I just love so much, and it really helps me have the visuals of like my videos, which is just very helpful. And even if I don't have like the title, it gives me such a great way to just go, that's what I'm going to film. So I've been doing that, but I've also received some parcels that I thought that I could show you because they've made me very, very happy. First and foremost, coming in strong with a little Jo Malone London, which how many times have I said this? Why don't they make scented pillar candles? Not pillar candles, candlestick. Oh God, I've had bread, okay, it's all coming up. Now I have said this many, many times. Why don't they make scented candlesticks? I've never understood it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why wouldn't you? Even if you just offer the option. Well, finally, Jo Malone has brought out some scented candlesticks. So they actually have their own little candlestick holders, which I thought these were very, very lovely. And they've sent, which comes beautifully packaged. What a beautiful gift if you know a candle lover or someone who enjoys hosting. Oh, what is that fragrance? It's like a sort of grapefruit. Yes. Grapefruit and rosemary. Do you know what? This reminds me of when I hugged Steve Cordoni because he had a grapefruit. Is it grapefruit? Is it like on trend as a fragrance at the moment? It smells amazing. What I love is it's got the little Jo Malone, little metal indent there. I mean, you could totally take that off and put that on any candle, but these are scented candlesticks. If you know someone who loves hosting, if you know someone who loves candles, if you just love someone who you know, that's a lovely gift. I wonder what other fragrances they do those in. And then this one is one that I have been really, really eagerly awaiting. This has been sent to me by the gorgeous Rolo Skinner. And if you don't follow Rolo Skinner on Instagram and you love florals, where have you been? Because he is a floral artist. He is absolutely exquisite and he is such a beautiful human as well. And he has collaborated with Mount Street, is it the Mount Street printers or Mount Street printers? And he has put together the most beautiful stationery. Oh, do you know what it is? What is it about these men who have such beautiful handwriting? Oh. Dear Lydia, wishing you the most glorious opening to spring. I am so delighted to share these pieces with you. I hope the cow parsley letter writing set brings... there's more on the back. I was like, brings what? As much joy to you as they have to me. So this is all wrapped so beautifully, and I think by the sounds of things, Rolo has done his due diligence and knows that my garden becomes awash with cow parsley at this time of year. Oh wow, it is so, oh my gosh. Oh, look at this. So imagine writing some letters on this, and this is what I mean. Look at it. But everything looks as if he's painted it just for you. So it really does. Oh my goodness. But basically, everything looks as though he's hand painted it just like as an individual one-off, which I think is really, really exquisite. And if you want something a little bit different for like wedding stationery or work stationery or whatever, look at that. Oh my goodness. And then it has beautiful envelopes to match, and then these will definitely be used. So beautiful, so beautiful. I think these are irises. They look like irises to me, little purple irises, so that I can do some name places for when I'm doing afternoon tea in the garden. Oh, gorgeous. I will link down to where you can shop this collection because even if you're just doing invites to a party or whatever, or you just want something, when you're writing letters, because letter writing is very, very lovely. I need to work on my handwriting skills though, because look how beautiful. I just need to work on it, to be honest. And then the other thing that arrived is a bit of a beauty one, which is always one that I love at this time of year. This is from Laura Mercier, and this is their Amber Vanille Serum Body Cream. And this is so rich, so indulgent, such a beautiful cream, and such a great layering fragrance. Can't get the lid on. Are you quite alright? We're just going to leave it at that then. Such a beautiful layering like scent for this time of year. And then they've also done the bath honey with little honey. Like, this is just iconic, this, isn't it? That has always been around for as long as I've done beauty and been in the beauty world and that kind of thing. It's always been there. So yes, anyway, I've got some time off. And I don't know what to do with myself, but I'm starting off the week with two of the things that set my heart ablaze. I'm going to do some potting in the greenhouse. I've actually got to start planting things out into the beds as well, because I think we've got such a good like run of beautiful weather at the moment that it would be silly for me not to get things out into the beds. Like my broad beans can go out. So I'm going to start off potting, and then I'm going to head to the stables and do an evening, like a spring summer, not summer yet, but spring hack with the boys. I can't believe how happy I feel. And do you know what, I was thinking about this the other day, because I don't know whether you've seen, but there's been a lot of discussion around me selling my bags, and it always interests me how one narrative will suit one situation and then it will have to be a different narrative to suit another, because obviously lots of people have said that I'm selling my bags for a marketing strategy, and when it's something sinister like that, you know, they have to, even though that's not why I'm selling my bags, that's definitely not a marketing strategy. I genuinely just think it's a turn in the tides. I think you reach a point in your life, like I'm 37 now, you reach a point where you're like, that was fun and I got to do it and I got to mark all those moments, but now enough's enough. But people will make me out to be this like strategic, sinister, conniving person, as if, no, it can't be a good thing. She's got to be, it's a marketing strategy. But then when I pivot my lifestyle, because one of the things I've worked really hard to try and do over the last few years is pivot the way that I work, because I didn't want to spend my life traveling for work. I felt like I'd got myself into a position where I was traveling all the time, and I didn't want to do that anymore. That's not to say that I don't want to travel, but I didn't want to do it in the way that I was doing it. And when I do that, it's Lydia's business is over. It wasn't a strategic thing. Business is in the bin. And I'm like, well, why am I really strategic when it's that, and then why am I not strategic when it's this? But anyway, it is something that I've tried really hard to live more of a life, and not feel like I'm chasing a life and struggling to keep that life in my fingertips. I think in this industry, if I can be a bit candid with you, as you age, you can often feel like you're no longer relevant, no longer interesting, because there's such an emphasis on like the younger generation and capturing them as an audience. And I wasn't going to let that become a narrative in my life. I want to embrace getting older, having a slower life and doing things differently. And what I'm really, really grateful for is that I've been able to facilitate that, in that rather than traveling here, there and everywhere, a lot of my sponsorships center around the life that I actually live, because I didn't want to be, I don't know, traveling on private jets somewhere or traveling on a yacht somewhere when that's not my life. And it's nice to see, and I totally think that content is well placed. This is just a personal thing. I wanted to ensure that, you know, when I'm driving a car, for example, it's my car. When I'm traveling somewhere, it's the way that I travel. If I'm doing something with someone, it's because that's relevant to my content and what I'm doing. And it's very easy to not do that. And I think that it's super important that there are the people that do it, and then there are the people that don't. For me, I want you to be seeing how I live my life. So when I go on holiday, how do I go? Like, what am I telling you about? Is it real? Is it authentic? Is my opinion real and authentic? Absolutely. And so a few years ago, I decided that the glitz and glamour of a lot of things aren't necessarily what I want to be showing. And I wanted to show you a little bit more of the mundane of my life now. And what that has led to is the fact that what I get to do now is work on bigger collaborations that give me so much more fulfillment. I get to work really closely with teams. I get to learn so much about different processes that I didn't know about before. And I also get more time, and more time at home, and more time doing the things that I love. And I think it makes my content better. And so I'm very happy. So yeah, anyway, as a 37-year-old woman, I thought I'd share some thoughts that, like, sometimes it's good to think outside of the box just a little bit, because you can often be served only one way of doing things. And I could very much see about 5 years ago, it was like I was getting this feeling that I like needed to be young and relevant and down with the girlies and down with the kids. And that just seemed like it was going to be really boring and tiring and too much for me. And instead I wanted to make sure that you were going through the motions and aging with me because, you know, someone I came across once had a stage age. So like what they told you that they were online was younger than they were offline. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I don't want to get caught up in that. I don't. I just want you to know how old I am. I want you to know the things that I'm worrying about in those age brackets, and what things I'm learning, and what thought processes I'm having, and what my life looks like at those times. And then sometimes I'll have people that are following me that have gone through that already, and they'll impart their wisdom in the comments. And then there'll be people that maybe are a bit younger and they're just starting to feel like they might be going through that now. And it's like, okay, I remember Lydia talking about this, where you have this transition in life where you realise what matters, and every time you're learning more and more about what actually matters, and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, long rambling 20 minutes into this, but I've got time, so I hope you don't mind. But let's just chill. I am currently out here still finishing off what I started in my last video and potting up some little arrangements for around the house. This is going to go on the Diana table, and what I thought I would do is talk you through what it is that I do when I'm doing these things, because I think it all feels a little bit daunting, and over time I've definitely realised what I like about arrangements. And also sometimes you might want to grow something from seed, sometimes you might just want to buy something that looks beautiful, sometimes you might want to wait until something is blooming, or sometimes you want to put it in when it's already in bloom. There is no one size fits all when it comes to arranging things, and you really do just have to do what you like. I operate in a world on the internet where I will do something and I'll get many opinions, and I always have to remind myself that if I wasn't doing this on the internet, I wouldn't care what anyone else thought. So, because I'd be like, I really like this, looks really nice in my house. So what I'm doing with this one is, this is a pot that I bought from the garden centre last year, and I did a little herb arrangement in it. I actually think height-wise this is going to look really nice on the Diana table, just standing a bit proud there. So I thought I might be able to get some ivy in as well, just to give it some different texture, but I actually really like how this looks on its own. But I might push that to the back a little bit, but let's see how this goes. Oh, I love it when you can... Oh, a little moth came out. Little moth living in there. What I'm finding about these is they are not very tightly packed, so you can fit more in. So I think if I go for 2 little ivy pots at the front, these ivies just give everything that English country garden sort of feel. I think that's why I like them so much. I'm going to get some soil in there and pop those in too. I've popped some stones in the bottom as well, so that it's got a bit of drainage. spray out the ivy a little bit so it spreads over this area, just gives a bit more coverage then. And then I'm going to give it a big drink outside. Wow, I love how spontaneous I can be when I'm having some time off, because it turns out we've been able to go riding at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm on my way to the stables. I didn't get as much gardening as I wanted to get done, but hey ho, I've got tomorrow. There is a whole load of days of sunshine ahead of me, so I get to get in the saddle. And I have to be honest, like, I can do gardening all the time at the moment. Getting in the saddle with Atlas and Romeo is an absolute dream on a day like today. It is 16 degrees. I know that anyone that lives anywhere hot will be like, 16 degrees, it's boiling, okay? It's boiling. Wow, you always see it. Yeah, it's always Atlas. Yes, boys. Oh, these little mushkins have been enjoying themselves in the field. However, this is the progress that I wanted to show you. So Claudia recommended getting this guard for the front, because I don't know if you remember when he came, yeah, a little bib. A few months ago we got it for this area on his chest so that his rugs, ow, stop squishing me, so that they stopped rubbing on his chest, and now all of his hair has grown back. You look like a proper sausage dog. Oh wait, you're not supposed to be a sausage dog. You've fallen asleep, am I boring you? Am I boring you? Yeah? Boy. Oh, someone is very excited for his ride today. He's already falling asleep. You okay? You okay? Good boy, little molasses mouth. Little molasses mouth. Good boy. Good boy, that's it. Good boy. Just get a separate jewellery policy that will cover everything. Look at the horses coming in. You've been a very good boy. Very good boy.
No, because when I get to the last one, it's
very tiring, I know. You're going to have a big yawn any minute. Any minute, I know. I know. Oh, like a big puppy. Good boy. Good boy. Get a few more rides like that, and we'll be riding together on our own. We'll take Carrie with us for a little walk. We'll do it all. Yeah. I know. Oh my gosh, so veiny. Look at you. No, Alice, don't do that. Don't do that. Stay away from it. Stay away from it. Wow, that was the most glorious ride for, every ride with him. Even when he's a little bit nervous, my confidence grows so much. And I think you would have heard me say in that clip that what I'm working on at the moment in terms of my confidence in riding is getting to the point where I go riding without Claudia. That doesn't mean I go riding on my own, because Atlas is a little bit sensitive. He doesn't like being on his own, and so I would always have someone walking with me. But I am building up to that, and with every ride that we have, he just fills me with so much more confidence. And also from next month, Romeo has been on rest for a very, very, very long time. So no trotting and no cantering or anything like that. Romeo's never going to jump again either. So I think Claudia might actually do some jumping with Atlas instead. Romeo from May is able to begin normal work other than jumping. And so hopefully we'll be doing a little bit more not high energy, because I'm never going to be a high energy rider, but that is what I'm hoping for anyway. But yeah, yesterday was just pure magic. So I'm hoping that in future, perhaps I'll be able to ride with like my dad walking next to me, Carrie walking next to me. I don't think Ali will ever want to come and walk next to me, to be honest, but I think I've got 2 recruits that will want to, and I think my dad will probably want to ride, and I think Carrie will probably want to ride at some point as well. But I have some new in pieces to show you. Well, not new in, these are samples. These are what I've been working on with Lily Silk. If you don't know, Lily Silk and I have been working together, I think this is like the 3rd year, where it's a really lovely collaboration that I get to do with them. We work long distance, and I basically get to bring some really beautiful pieces to life with them using their beautiful materials, and you lot love them. Half of the time you sell them out before I can even wear them. It is wild. And so I am so excited that we're doing this for like the 3rd year running, and I've been working on a number of pieces, and I've just got the samples of some of them. I'm actually wearing one of them now. Sorry, I've just steamed it, so it's a little bit damp still. But this is a dress that I have been working on, and ignore the rail because we are about to have the spring summer sort out that I've been talking about for weeks, that I'm finally going to start at least and hopefully finish tomorrow. But this is one of the dresses that we have been bringing to life. So this is just, I need like gold jewellery, I need like a bit of this, I need a really cold glass of wine in my hands, and maybe even like a sun hat. But basically what we've done is we've gone for this sort of sash neck design, but you can also wear it multiple different ways, in my humble opinion. It is not just, you know, for something that you can also sort of wrap it round if you want to, and have one at the front, one at the back. But what I love is just this back detail, because it has been pinned so that it just drapes. You can obviously, you know, do it differently, but this is supposed to be really sort of effortless and beautiful. And I have to say, I've never gone for like the stringy, silky dresses, but this feels a little bit more demure, and the colour of this, like hair, this is definitely a hair up kind of dress. Hold on, let me pin. So what we've been working on at the moment is just getting the back of the dress right, because I really wanted a nipped in feeling at the back. And this is the new sample now. You have to let me know what you think. Do you think that that is nipped in at the back enough? Because I was sort of wondering whether I wanted it a little bit more, but you don't see too much of the back because of the draping, but it just, like even with this bag, does it work with this bag? I feel like chocolate and burgundy together is just so gorgeous. Like barefoot, this just feels so beautiful in the way that it moves. There's such a gorgeous amount of fabric in the waist and in the skirt as well. And we went for really big drapes at the back, but it just makes me feel a little bit Cleopatra-esque. It's just gorgeous, and the colour, it does also come in ivory, but let me know what you think about this, because I think this is so gorgeous for summer. You could even go like a little raffia clutch, just plain for like pool party vibes, that kind of thing. This colour, I love. But yes, it comes in ivory, so if you wanted like a bridal party outfit, if you wanted something that's just a little bit more creamy ivory toned, then this also does come in the classic ivory that we do with Lily Silk. But I just thought, even with like sliders, where are my sliders? Like this old battered pair from Hermes, these are the perfect colour actually. This is actually a little match made in heaven. Where's my little bagaroo? Like this for summer holidays. I'm sorry, I feel like we have a bit of a dream here. That is the perfect colour as well, the English saddle. I love it. Okay, this is very, very nice. Just let me know your thoughts on the back of the dress. Do we need to knit that in more, or is it okay? When I stand up straight, it sort of hangs a little bit differently. Let me know. And I've got another item to show you as well. Okay, say hello to the best pair of shorts that I think I have ever seen. We basically took a fabric from Lily Silk's previous, they did a really beautiful pair of trousers in this chocolate pinstripe, and I was like, I want some summer shorts in that chocolate. Initially we thought about doing like a pure silk, and we have done them in an ivory, but this shape is the most flattering. It's kind of like you've taken a pair of men's shorts and had them tailored into the most flattering pair of women's shorts, because there is something about having a nice amount of fabric in these areas that you're just like, yeah, so flattering on the legs. I've just popped it with a classic Oxford shirt because that's what I had to hand, and also with these sliders, a really, really versatile piece. And if you pop, like, you know, we can obviously go for my horse riding bag because it looks really nice with it. But yes, this is something that we've been working on, and I'm really happy with these shorts. I've got them in the ivory, so I'm going to try those on quickly. But yeah, so this is like a little partnership that we work on together, and it's sort of one of those ones that it doesn't really get like the press or the not the hype, because they literally sell out, but like it doesn't see even often onto like Instagram and TikTok, because it just does so well. And I love doing it as well, because I get to work with these beautiful fabrics and bring these items to life. And I have to say, I've said this before, whenever anyone touches my Lily Silk pieces, they're like, the quality of these pieces is incredible. So it's really fun being able to work with them so closely and bring items that I'm like, do you know what? I think there's something there. And they trust me, and it's such a fun process as well. I get sent all of the swatches, so I'm literally picking, finalising the fabrics, and if I have something in my wardrobe and I'm like, I love this, but I want to do it a bit more like this, it's the side of designing that I'm really getting into and enjoying so much. So yeah, very, very happy to have brought these to life. Obviously you can pop a belt with them, you could do like a vest top, that kind of thing, and I'll show you the other pair as well before we get going on the pack down. And this is the ivory pair. Oh my goodness, I popped them with a classic Holland Cooper Oxford shirt, which this is one of my favourites, because this is just one of those pieces that gets better with age in your wardrobe. Like, these shirts just look fantastic, and this is the perfect summer shorts. Now, these are actually based off of a short that I already had in my wardrobe. There's actually like a high street affordable short, and I was like, no, I want to bring this to life in something that is beautiful fabric. I also want to make some tweaks to the design. I wanted them to be longer on the legs and really finish at the point of the leg that is the most flattering, and also have a lot more fabric in them so that you are comfortable, because there's nothing worse than putting on a pair of shorts and then being tight in all of the wrong places. So this to me is like the perfect summer outfit, with a little cute bag like this. You could go for tan loafers, that sort of thing, jumper over the shoulders. Absolutely in love with the details of this. Gorge. So yes, now my next port of call is to start the spring pack down. So this is always an interesting process to do as somebody that works in fashion. And so I wanted to have a little bit of a chat about this, because, stop flashing your bra, Lydia, put it away. Because obviously I share a lot of fashion on my channel, and I love to share things with you and show you new bits and pieces and things like that. And I've often felt really funny about this, and I've had comments over the years when it's like, you're always buying stuff, there's always new stuff. So I've struggled to sort of make sense of it all, and what I've realised is, from meeting so many of you, the feedback that I often get in person and in the comments is that I am too busy to be trawling the internet for things that I want to introduce into my wardrobe, and there is such a synergy between my style and their style that they almost utilise me like a personal shopper, and it simplifies and helps people that are busier and maybe a little bit time poor, whether that's with work, whether it's your own business, whether it's your family, whatever. And you found someone, i.e. me, hopefully, that you like and you like the style of and you can bear to watch for an hour, that might find you some nice things to buy. You don't have to buy everything, and I definitely will show things and maybe see that they don't fit into my wardrobe, but hope that they are pieces that you enjoy. And because I vlog my life, you'll often see the items that stay in my wardrobe and that kind of thing. There's a lot of discussion that I've seen on TikTok at the moment around the thought process of, are they fashion influencers or are they shopping influencers? I really hope that I sort of blend the two. I always think that there's like a happy medium somewhere in the middle of these things often, and I want to maybe shop for you sometimes and find things that are really good quality and beautiful and wardrobe staples, and potentially like little edits, like my accessories edits, but also sometimes I might even help with a bit of styling. I'm not a stylist, and I'm glad I'm not a stylist. I mean, if it was naturally in my blood, whatever, but I'm not a stylist. I'm just your everyday girl wearing what makes her feel lovely and hoping that you girls feel lovely and guys feel lovely as well. So when it comes to my spring pack down, I actually think this is going to be the most brutal spring pack down I've ever done, because what I've just been through with selling my bags has taught me a lot. It has taught me that you can take risks with fashion and try new things, but like actually you don't need so much all of the time. And so I am definitely going to be simplifying things, hopefully cleansing a lot as well, and then bringing down my spring summer wardrobe and having a bit of a change out. I also wanted to show you, these are the little rattan things from my previous video that I got on Amazon, and I utilised this one on my shelf because obviously there used to be a Louis Vuitton trunk here, there used to be a Louis Vuitton trunk here, and then I used to have my Louis Vuitton makeup storage, and now I have this little wicker little makeup box, and actually I am loving it. This is so much easier for me to navigate anyway, so little bonus there. Yes, it looks very lovely in my dressing room. So I've got a rail. I've ordered some more of these. So we've got, sorry, you can hear the chickens have just laid an egg. We've ordered more of these. These are little linen storage things that are moth proof, and we'll be packing things down. But for the most part, what I need to start doing is pulling out what is going to be packed down and what is going to be put into storage and what is going to either be sold or donated. So I think I'm actually going to start by clearing the rail that is sort of like my new in rail, because there's often bits and pieces that can go back to brands. There's bits and pieces that maybe don't fit or I've got double sizes of. So that might actually be a good place to start. My house is turning into Animal Farm. If you don't hear Porter barking, you can hear the chickens, and then if you don't hear the chickens, you can hear the cockerel. It's a wild west out here. Right, I've changed into some workhorse clothing, which is a white Oxford shirt and some Beaufort and some Amazon linen trousers, because they are literally like spring summer tracksuit bottoms. And I am going to get into this cupboard. Now, the cupboard is a bit of a mess. So, as you can see at the top, I've got hats. There are some winter hats there, which I'm gonna need to pack down. I've got some storage arriving today, some hat storage. So I can put my winter hats away, and I can also then get my summer hats out as well, but they're kept protected. So these will go to one side. Oh, I also got this. This was sent to me by Swain, and I thought that this was the most adorable little thing. I really want to do like a photo shoot with this. So this is almost like an equestrian, a traditional equestrian inspired cap, and it's from Herbert Johnson, and I've not even tried it on yet. I thought this, I mean, this would really set the internet ablaze if I was to do my equestrian outfits with my boots, with my trousers and my boots. And then my little cute riding cap. I mean, I think it's very cute. I think it's adorable, personally. But anyway, that was not what I was going to show you. That is definitely a hat that will be staying out. I want it on display, to be honest, as well, so I might pop it on a little hat stand or something. So these are all of my winter hats, ready to pack down. All lovely wool. So these are some from Rose Cherie, which I actually wore this recently for a little outfit video I did with Sinead Keary. The quality is gorgeous. If you want like wool hats, I mean, look, in fact, I'm keeping this one out for summer dressing, because this is event dressing, even if it's wool. Yeah, this one is staying out because this is beautiful. Okay, they're both staying out. Is that one staying out? That's a bit more wintry, I think, for ivory. But yes, these all need to be popped away. So we've got my bespoke Vivian Sheriff. I've got some Purdy in there. So these will all be popped away. And this one from Vivian Sheriff as well, getting quite the collection. Perfectamundo. This is a basket down here of things that need to be sorted out. I am ridding myself of some designer shoes because I can't walk in them anymore. Now that I'm 37-ish nearly, on Monday, I can't walk in these heels. I don't think I've ever worn them, and I don't think I ever intend to. Plus, I'm not really a patent girly, so those Louboutins can be sold. These are a pair of Louboutins that I have worn so much and they are so battered, and I got them in a lower heel so now I can wear them better. I've got these were my bridal shower shoes, but they are so battered and so tall that I can't walk in them, so those are going as well. So I need to have a little bit of a sort out of that. I'm going to make a pile out here of things that are to go. You'll know this gets me very excited. So with this rail, it's going to be a bit of a mission, and it's going to look like carnage in here because these will all be things that are fairly like new in. It will more likely be a delegation of where they should go rather than cleansing. You will also likely see me packing down brands that I obviously love and wear, like Holland Cooper. That's because I have specific pieces for different times of the year. So sometimes I'll have this coat, probably most likely in autumn because it has that richer tone to it. I also don't want to pack this down because I feel like it is still such a good summer colour, especially with all of these richer tones. Should I pack this down? Yeah? It's such a good colour. Okay. Oh gosh, okay, this is good progress though, this is good progress. I need a whole wardrobe just for blazers.
Are you going through these now yourself?
I've already gone through those.
So that side is done. Why have you got two the same ones then?
Because one is the bigger one, and I think I'll actually wear it, like if I need it over a jumper. Just that one.
Would you need to have both downstairs?
I think so.
Okay.
Just in that one. This is terrible. It's not going well. What we'll also do whilst we're doing this as well is change over hangers, because I like to keep my jackets on these kinds of hangers and I like to keep my tops on these kinds of hangers. They're not the best for space saving, but I am trying to edit things down. It's not going well so far, but I feel like you need to like get into it first, don't you? And like start somewhere, because this is where we're working at the moment. And what I realised was, oh gosh, when I went into the cupboard of doom at the back, I had a lot of blazers and a lot of boots and things that need to be sorted out. Like, look, I'm keeping these Manolos and I've lost the gem for it. They just need to go. I realised I had a load of jackets that needed to be fed into my jacket cupboard, which has obviously then turned into doing the jackets. We need to pack down scarves, because I'm definitely not using those at this time of year. So this is generally where we've started out with the pack down. I don't think I'm going to need any of these, am I? That, I think...
Lovely colour.
You think?
Yeah.
What about that one? No. You want them? That's because you...
No, I don't actually want them.
I never know if Saturn is telling me to get rid of things because she wants them, or whether she's telling me to...
Look, I would have had this myself. Yeah. I was honest, and I said she's nice.
Oh,
I don't actually want that one until you see me wearing it next year.
Yeah.
You're like, I thought you didn't like that. Oh, I'll change your mind.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't mean that one. Woolly hats. My favourite position is CEO. Once we get to this point, we pull out the Purdy and Fig and give it a spritz, because we want it to smell nice and be clean, and this is the perfect opportunity to give everything a spring clean at the same time. Oh, we're cleaning the skirting now. We're going all out. The new in cupboard is looking very empty. Won't be for long, but it does need to have a good clean. In this bag back here, I keep all of my like storage bags and travel bags, packing cubes, dust bags for things that if I travel or if I want to like store them. This is my grandpa's old Gucci luggage OGB flip. And yeah, so everything's just stored in there. Then this is all of my riding stuff. I try not to have too much. Good amount of different lengths of sleeves, different warmths. I have to make sure that my warmer layers can fit underneath my back protector, but as you can see it is very grubby in here, so I'm going to give it a quick spritz and a clean. It's always when I start looking at this dressing room that it makes me so sad for the Lydia that put this in 7 years ago, because if you don't know, I put in my dressing room when we moved in. It was like the first thing that I got done, and it was one of those things where you're like working with your dream dressing room company. This was one of those things that really broke my heart, because I remember I used to see their adverts and I would just be like, oh my gosh, and it was just horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And then I see these finishes that they've done. Like, first of all, what is that gap about? Why is there just a huge gap between the shelf and the wall? And then I don't even think they've used a proper bit of the wardrobe there. They've just, and like you see this, there's just little random, sorry, I don't know if you can see, just little random areas where they've just cut it, they've done it wrong, cut it, and they've done it wrong, and they've just patched it up. And we've got like this raw edge over here and raw edge down there. It's honestly like such a botched job. It actually fascinates me when I look at it really closely how sad it is. My entire life already feels so much lighter. I actually think just by getting this cupboard a little bit more under control has made me feel so much better. This is usually like, I think I've told you, this is like the rail where new in items come in, whether it's collaboration or whether it's items that I've bought. And what I'm going to aim to do is have this like organised. I feel like I've said that before, but even just having all of the bottoms together, colour coordinated, it means I can see things. So this definitely needs to be managed a little bit more like a fashion cupboard at a magazine, if that makes sense. It smells amazing. The Purdian figures made it smell delicious in here. However, I kind of have to jump over. So as much as I actually want to delegate a lot of these items away, I can't do that until we actually do the cupboards. So I'm going to start on the sort of bits and pieces accessories cupboard, which is absolute carnage, to put it bluntly. It is absolute carnage. There is so much here, and this is like ridiculous. How many scarves does one person need? Oh my gosh, we're gonna have a clear out. Dear, where's how many tights? This is unreal. So the accessories cupboard has been sorted. My goodness me, the difference between winter dressing and spring summer dressing is, I've literally cleared 4-5 baskets of stuff. It is just so much easier at this time of year. I get so much more space back. It feels like my wardrobe is like organised, but I'm going to give this a spritz over, because this will be really nice when it's spritzed as well, because it's got the radiator behind it, so it'll almost make it like a smelly infusion. We have cosy socks and sport socks, empty basket, silk scarves. These are like tights and my little pop socks, which I don't necessarily need the tights out, but I mean, it's only 6 pairs, so I feel like they can stay there. And I still do use my pop socks, so they can stay out. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 20 degrees in England and I have been indoors all day sorting out my wardrobe. I am now heading over to the yard for Atlas's 2nd physio appointment, and I'm looking forward to seeing his progress, because you could not have predicted a worse situation. But we turned up for his first physio appointment and he was lame. He'd obviously just been frolicking in the field a little bit too much, so I was obviously super panicked at that point. He wasn't mine, and I don't know, it was just one of those things when you know when you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But Emma, the physio, was really reassuring, and she was like, I'm actually just seeing so much of this at the moment because the fields are so wet, they're slipping, they're sliding, they're doing all of that kind of stuff. So it was just one of those times where I was like, I couldn't actually really focus on anything else other than the fact that he was lame. Within 3 days, he was absolutely fine. He'd obviously just had too much fun. So I'm hoping that in this session, we can focus a little bit more on just ensuring that he is getting the longevity out of his legs and life as much as possible, and in turn I get to ride him for as long as possible. Saying that, I have a very beautiful horse's bottom right in front of me and a very brave little girl riding on her own. Oh my gosh, she must be like 10. On her little pony. Oh my gosh, that's so inspiring. Also, I follow a family on Instagram called the Brawley family, or the Brayley family, and their little girl, so fearless, so fearless. I'm so inspired whenever I watch their videos, and when I see a little girl like that, she must have been 10, most 12, just out on her own with her little pony. I have to start getting the practice in with Atlas so that, you know, I'll be able to do a little bit more on my own with him. But baby steps. I'm having my first physio appointment with him on my own without Claudia. Luckily, Emma is a friend of Claudia's, so she knows. I've like literally said to her, I'm like, have you ever done this before? If I get anything wrong, please just tell me, and just tell me what to do. So yes, I'm going now. Hopefully he'll be okay. I've been doing his stretches with him, and his stretches are really like just paying off. I give him a good stretch, I give him a little bit of a lunge in the school, and then we go on a ride, and he's just amazing, absolutely amazing. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what she has to say today, seeing him 2 days in a row. I'm actually going to be riding 3 times this week. That is what daylight saving and spring brings to the equestrian community. If you have made it through the winter, I only did half the winter, okay? If you have made it this far, equestrian girlies, I salute thee, because it is just doing half of it was tough, but it is all worth it now. So anyway, I'm going to the yard and then I'm going to head home and continue on, because this honestly feels like a wonderful catharsis for me in the wardrobe. I really feel like I am making such good progress and being a little bit more cutthroat with things, because I really like there's just too much in the way of like different styles, and actually I need to get better at wearing things that suit me and that kind of thing. So hopefully I'll be able to curate my wardrobe a little bit more, which feels good. Anyway, see you when we get to the yard. Well, I'm very, very pleased to tell you that I have a sound horse. I mean, we knew that anyway, although not sure what's going on with that hoof. Hey? Very good boy, very much enjoyed his physio appointment. I've got some more stretches to do with him. I need to book to have his new saddle reflocked, and someone's getting a little bit more feed every day, which is exciting for you. Little stretch forward, little happy hoof Olympics these days. And we've got to get him another fly rug, I think. This one, bless him, he's got a few little bites underneath his tummy, so I think the king of rugs is going to get another rug. Gorgeous boy. He was great on the lunge, great on our first trot up together. He's looking good, like a prized pony. You're my prized pony, but horse, obviously not a pony. I'm back from the yard, and I think I have some bits that have arrived for organising in here. These are my hat storage bags. Hold on, let me get to grips with these. How do these work? So what I liked about these is they had good, robust handles, and also they have a little viewing window so that you can see which hats are in which. So I'm going to get these all made up because we've got a lot of hats going on and I'd like them to be protected once they're in there. And voila. So I got 3 of those. Oh, so I bought little pouches to store my swimsuits and bits and bobs in. They're one thing that always looks really messy and you don't need hundreds of them. So I thought getting a few little pouches like this, it's great for travel, it's great for when you actually wear them, and also great for storage in general. So they did like a little pack of these, but you can use these for anything. So if you want to put gym sets together, really great way to store them. Now this is something I'm very intrigued by because this could free up a bit of space in my dressing room drawer. I just would have to get Mr. Millen Gordon to fit it for me. Oh, it's metal, because this is a little straightener and hairdryer stand, so I could pop this underneath my desk and have them out of my drawer and stored in that. We'll see how it goes. It might not be right, but it would free up a lot of space. Aha! The other thing, oh my gosh, the lighting is so bad because it is that time of the evening, but I use these cedarwood shoe trees because all of my boots go away at this time of year as well. So I thought popping these in my boots. I've also got some storage boxes that are coming tomorrow to store my boots upstairs. So things are just going to be stored really easily and tidily up there, but safely for the items as well, so that they last. Right, let's get some hats into these. So we have all of the hats for winter in these, which is going to be very, very handy. And I think they look quite nice as well. Once they just fill out a little bit, they'll be nice. These have been my weapons of choice in the dressing room. I have the By Matter Another Day Fabric Refresher. This is my favourite one. I don't know if it has a scent. There's 2 of them, but this one is my favourite because it's a bit more essential oily and eucalyptusy. And then this Wild Rose and Blackberry Musk I've been spraying in all my boots as they go into the loft, and I'm going to do all of my ballet pumps so that they've got a bit of a refresh for spring, summer as well. And then obviously cleaning with my Purdy and Fig. Good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness. Stop saying, oh my goodness, Lydia. We did so well yesterday. I actually ended up getting the whole of my dressing room done except for trousers and dresses, so I'm going to focus on that today. But I do have an appointment this morning. First of all, I'm having a Hydrafacial. I'm just going for a laser appointment. I'm not taking you with me because I've done it a million times, but it's just before my birthday and it's also just before I come on my time of the month, so I feel like I need this. I don't know whether I'm the only person, but it feels like I get a layer of like film over my skin just before my time of the month, and I think that's what causes like my breakouts. It's so weird. It's obviously a release of hormones or something like that, but I thought I'd show you my outfit to just quickly head there. I am wearing my Aran jumper, or is it Aran? I always get that wrong. Aran jumper that I got when I went to Ireland. This is just the like coziest jumper, and then I've got some Beaufort and Blake suede jeans, but I've got them in a size up, so these are an 8, just because they shrink a little bit in the wash, and I wanted a bit more like looseness. In all honesty, I almost want like a looser pair, not on the waist, but just on the legs, something a little bit looser, but still. LK Bennett ballet flats, mulberry bag, and no makeup, because that is the port of call. Last time I had this, oh, my skin was amazing, so I'm really looking forward to this. And I'm going to jump in the car and head there now, pretty much. Really enjoying my week off. I wish there were more weeks like this. I am back, looking very, very glowy. My skin is so weird today. I felt so sorry for my usual facialist because she was like, your skin is just drinking everything up. I was like, I know, my skin texture completely changes. And I think she was like, I've never seen it like this. I was like, I know. But she's just so good. And honestly, my skin, it just feels like it genuinely needed that. I'm back in my dressing room though, letting my inner glow come out. And I am determined to get this finished today. I want things to be packed away properly so that this can be a really efficient process moving forward. But what I also want to do is to make sure that I'm actually starting to edit down my wardrobe consciously, hence why I spoke to you in the morning at the beginning of the video about you'll often see me speaking about clothing and showing you lots of different variations of things. That doesn't always mean that I keep every piece. I'll always style things up in the way that I would style them up, but sometimes I already have, say, a polka dot dress in my wardrobe and you guys can't buy it. I'll get 100 messages about a polka dot dress, so then I have the opportunity to show you a new polka dot dress, for example, that is current season. I won't necessarily need another polka dot dress in my wardrobe, and I'm trying to be really conscious with these things and show you as much as possible, whether you are looking for that or not. So what that is making me do is edit down my wardrobe even more, because honestly, these things can be a bit overwhelming when you have so much stuff and also so much space. And I can't tell you how lovely it is seeing my wardrobe just look so just considered and clear and everything in the right place. We did my cozy cupboard yesterday, and these are just, do you know what? I honestly believe that I could just live with this amount of knitwear. I know that sounds ridiculous, and I definitely could live with this amount of knitwear, but it genuinely comes from like the styling side of things that I often need other pieces. But this is a great selection to have to see me through spring, because we're in England and sometimes you don't always get the weather that we've got at the moment, which is making me very sad to be indoors because it's supposed to rain next week. But that's the cozy cupboard. So what's left to do is what I refer to as sort of like my armoire. This is like designed to look like the main focal point of the dressing room. So I've got what I had left for spring summer. I kept just some classics down and didn't put them in the loft, things like my special dresses, and then these are more like autumn winter. And then I had a little edited selection of coats in here, and that can obviously be edited down even more now that the weather has changed. I'm probably going to be getting things out in this video. Where there's a will, there is always a way. Okay. I also potted up some of the violas in some antique pots for in here, and when I open up the door in the morning, this room smells delicious. These are so gorgeous. I'm so happy. This was also something that I picked up. This is a little stand for my laptop, just to keep it filed away with my books here. I've got a selection of little books that I love. This is just an empty box with nothing in it. This was what my gift from Mahale's studio came in, but I thought it just looked lovely. I've got my book. I've got my wondrous Anna Pavord, The Tulip, and then now next to it I've popped my Steve Cordoni book there. I thought it looked lovely in there as well. And then I popped this here so that it's out of the way when I'm using this as a dressing room. What I have also started doing is, it's been a lifelong journey, or should I say a career-long journey, in editing down my makeup. You remember the days when people used to have walls and walls of makeup. That has always been very, very overwhelming for me. And slowly over the years, I've been able to edit things down and not have quite so much. So in the last sort of year or so, I got my makeup to mainly this drawer. There's a bit of overspill in here, which this hasn't been sorted out. This drawer has been sorted out. This drawer hasn't. What I'm aiming to do is get all of my hair care into this drawer. And I would like to free up this drawer for actually a bit of a work drawer, because often I'll sit up here and I'll film and then I'll sit here and edit. And so I'd like to be able to put things in here rather than have my tools in here. I'd rather get them out of here, in all honesty. The last drawer is this one. And again, this is excessive, but actually this has been edited so much over the years to only my favourites when it comes to fragrance. I'd like to edit this down a little bit more as well if I could, but I think that might be quite difficult. But that is the aim of the game at the moment. I've got an old Louis Vuitton thing that I'm going to be selling because there is no more of these kinds of things in here. So that one, I was like, once this was on here, these Amazon little trunks, I thought there is absolutely no reason for me to have that anymore. I don't need anything with labels on it in that kind of way. Bizarrely, I'm loving my outfits more, like just the simplicity of actually getting to wear things that I enjoy and not worrying about any labels or anything. It's quite nice. Just focusing on the quality really. But yeah, that's where we're at. So I think we're going to start on bottoms because there are a number of things in here that need to be sorted through. I need to get myself a rail and plough through, basically. I just need to tackle it because I think jeans and trousers and shorts and skirts and things like that are one of the hardest things to actually get the wear out of, because often things don't fit nicely, you're a bit sort of like uncomfortable, and so having a good edited selection of things that you actually like is super important. Well, not that it makes much difference, but I am going to leave the skirts and shorts in there, and I'm actually going to go through and sort through these individually. I'm going to have to be pretty brutal here because there's just so much. I mean, so many white and ivory trousers because I live in them, but I know that there are a few in there that did not get worn. So what I'm trying to do is get everything into colour order and also onto the same hangers. That might seem a little bit excessive, but I think for me, things looking tidy and organised is a super helpful thing for me to not feel overwhelmed when I look at things in my wardrobe. So I've just sorted out the blacks to dark blues. Now I'm going to do the greens to the stone colours. Well, it's not as clear as I hoped it would be, but we do still need to have a restyle up of this area too, because this has sort of fallen by the wayside. Just like it to look presentable in here. It's easier to take in. I can't explain it, but it makes things so much easier for me, and all of this colour coded as well is really helpful. Although, what colour are you? Oh, you're a skirt. You're a skirt. How did you end up there? What were you thinking, Lydia? Now this is going to be the stuff of nightmares for anyone who works in or has worked in retail, because I don't know whether that's the same anymore, but when I worked in retail, you used to have to go and space the hangers so that it looked smart, like this. And you would be trying to do it at the end of the day, and there would still be customers coming in, and they'd come up, and a customer would have no idea, and they'd just go, and you'd have just spent like 10 minutes perfectly spacing it. Goodness me, you could get a bit scarred from it, and I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, because the only person that's going to be messing this up is me, but there is something very satisfying about doing this. I mean, actually, in an ideal world, they would all be facing the same way, and they'd all look a lot smarter than that, but that will do. Now we've freed up a lot of hangers. Some are not for the wardrobe. These ones are inside the wardrobe hangers. The grey ones are for storing things safely, and the pink ones as well. So we freed up some good space. That makes me very happy. Now for the finale. Oh my gosh, what a mess. What a mess. So what I'm doing at the moment is packing down my winter dresses, so things that have longer sleeves but also a heavier weight in fabric. I've got a lot of dresses that have like matching jackets, so I've popped those on there. A lot of velvet is going to go into storage, but a lot of these dresses are actually items that I've had for a while, and they get packed down and they come back out. And that's what I love about dresses specifically, is that if you keep to the classic silhouettes, generally you can get them out year on year and you just don't have to worry about the trends. However, I would also say that it's easier not to follow the trends with dresses. So I find that you can play around with the trending colours a lot better with occasion wear. So last year I did my Sassy Hawford baby blue dress. This year we might do the trending colour, but that dress, because of what it is, it's just an heirloom. It's not going to date. That is one of those dresses that in a few years' time I'll probably change out the accessories and wear it again, because that was a big moment, that dress, and I feel like it needs its time. Okay, so I feel like this red could have a moment this spring, summer. And what I'm going to do is have dark dresses in this cupboard, coloured dresses in this cupboard, and then white dresses in this cupboard. Oh, only that was the situation with my dresses, eh? These are some bits that I've got out of storage. These are some shorts that I've had for about 5 years from Vita Grace. They're super flattering and just a really nice, like, shapely style of linen short. I've then got these linen shorts from Laura Piana, really beautiful linen, same linen as my dress. It's all a very big variation of brands as well. These are Lydia Millen, a really lovely pair of like khaki linen shorts. And then these are Holland Cooper, because I think that this sage green is so beautiful, and with like a linen shirt as well. So those are a few pairs of shorts. I've actually got a blue pair of shorts that I was going to get rid of from Beaufort and Blake, but actually I'm already regretting it and they're downstairs, so I'm going to dig those out, because with this jumper they'll look really cute. So yeah, those are going to get hung on some clippies and put into the bottoms cupboard. Another thing I learned from working in retail, always clip the ends. It just looks neater and tidier. I am in the midst of sort of finishing off the end bits and pieces, and oh my goodness, I have just smelled this. So this has been hanging out in this beautiful little woven Jo Malone tote in my beauty cupboard, and I thought, what's in there? And I've opened this up and I've gone, not another summer fragrance. It's just going to be another rehashed whatever. I look like a crazy lady doing that. Sorry, let me try and make myself look a little bit cooler so that the Jo Malone team like it. Hold on. That's still not working. What are we doing? Hold on. Okay. Oh, this is what 2 days organising makes you look like. Let's just go with it. This is absolutely beautiful. I was so expecting like another sort of just really overly sweet, almost like Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess style fragrance. But this is exactly what it says on the tin. This is that like beachy sweet, like summer skin fragrance, but with that more floral element to it. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I don't know how they do it, I really don't. When you're a brand like Jo Malone, how can you keep reinventing the wheel? Because it's not like other things, like you'll see a lot of brands, they'll like do 1 year NPD and then the next year they just kind of like rehash an old product. You can't really do that. I mean, you can bring back limited edition fragrances and things like that, but to bring something new as often as Jo Malone does and as beautifully as they do, I am so impressed. And this is honestly like my little, oh, I'd wear this nowadays. That is my kind of like raffia pouch for by the pool, now that we're not doing the other stuff. Love that. Well, thank you very much, Jo Malone, for sending me that, because you have just found my summer fragrance. I've popped it on, absolutely love it. Gorge. At the moment I am in the midst of clearing the last of my drawers. that's up to you. I say clearing, we definitely haven't cleared, but look at this. Look at the things that we're finding in here. This is the Happy 2020 blush. I think it was a blush, or was it a highlighter I got from By Terry, and then also blast from the pre-COVID life. My palette that I did with By Terry. Don't tell me, like I've got everything in my office that's obviously not decorated yet. I've got everything. I've got my Elizabeth Arden pouch. I've got all of my cult beauty boxes, all of that kind of stuff. Oh, that I feel like was like almost like the heyday of being a creator, because brands were so much more adventurous. Now I think because how big the industry has got, I don't know why I'm so blurry, but it's atmospheric. But yeah, I think it was like one of those things where you could be a little bit more adventurous because it wasn't quite so mainstream. But now I think that the creator world is so mainstream that these things have to be a little bit more like covert and planned, and I don't know, but it's still very exciting to think that I've been doing all of it, like doing things like that, and then now I'm doing things like designing with fashion brands. I'm like, that is nuts. That is nuts. Anyway, I've got to finish sorting this up. So yeah, what am I going to do with this? Because this has got stuff in it as well. That's got products in it. Need to have a think. Well, today has been monstrous, and I have reached the point where I can move no further forward. I went up to the, it's as monstrous as this. This is one of the Holland Cooper reed diffusers, and they can actually only sell these in store because transporting them is a little bit difficult. And I don't have the reeds for them, so I'm going to see if I can get some reeds, because this is their signature fragrance and it is beautiful. This is the scent of our living room. It's gorgeous. But yes, so I've been into my storage boxes and I have pulled out not everything for summer, because in all honesty, I'm trying to be edited, and anything that isn't pulled out this year won't stay. So I've actually got a really nice amount of space in here now, and I've just got some really classic pieces. I am going to be doing so much outfit repeating this season, in all honesty, and everything just feels so gorgeous. I've also given everything a spritz. With this. This is like a special moth repellent. It's kind of like cedar citronella-y. And so now when I open my wardrobes, it smells very nice. So I've got a good selection of classics and a few that I haven't worn yet, like this Oscar de la Renta striped shirt dress. I think it's last year or 2 years ago. And then this Dolce gorgeous yellow rose, especially with yellow being such a big colour. I'm glad I've got that, and that's a real key piece. So dresses are done. I've also organised, obviously, trunks and bits and pieces like that. So I've got costume jewellery in this one. I think I've shown you this already, but there's just costume bits and pieces in there. This trunk under here is an old one that Ali got me. This is a memory box now. This is so battered it's worth nothing, but this is just like family albums. Like that's literally my auntie on her first wedding day. So nothing exciting in there either, but a really nice keepsake. And I keep that one because that was a Christmas present from Ali. In this cupboard, we have Fairfax and Favour bags mixed in with some shoes and a very nicely arranged bottoms, skirts and shorts. We obviously have the back cupboard, which is new in bits and pieces and riding gear. Having the boots out of here is so nice. I've also got hats. They might need a little bit more organisation, but the summer hats are down. A few little silk scarves. I've got some key silk scarves out as well. Some vintage Hermes, some Holland Cooper. I've got some Sabina Savage. This vintage Hermes is like a triumph. It's so beautiful. I have even tidied up the beauty cupboards. So these are all extra products. This is like my stock shelf, and just bits of wardrobe essentials like folding boards, that kind of thing in there. We have jackets and hats and other little affordable handbags in there. We have the tops and shirts and that kind of thing. So that's that. Even my jewellery. Oh my gosh. Wee, wee, wee. No more fancy jewellery in here. This is all costume jewellery except for a broken Dior bracelet. That's it. Just glasses, wardrobe care. This is Rosie Fortescue's brand, so it looks like the most blingy thing, but it is. These are all faux diamonds, which I'm getting quite a lot of enjoyment out of. These are all a mix of like nice cream coat and Santini and gingerberry and that kind of thing. I haven't yet got through to the like work drawer, but this is still very nice and organised for me anyway. Everyday makeup. This is spacious, so we're going to get some more tools in there, I think. We've got hair and we've got fragrance, and that is everything. Shoes are out and my shoes are all well loved. Everything's just nice and organised. Another little old LV thing that I've got some ties in. There's literally nothing in there. And a few baskets that I can utilise for other things as well, that I must remember that I can utilise for other things. I really want to start getting bits and bobs a bit more. Oh, I need to sort this out still. I do need to do that. But all of my drawers are now so much more like easy to use. Like that just makes me want to cry. All of my swimsuits organised into their own little waterproof bags, little cashmere, light cashmere and slips. We've got Intimissimi base layers and crop tops. We have the underwear drawer, which is a mix of Intimissimi, Perk by Kate, Wackle, Booty, lots of different bits and pieces in there. And then the costume jewellery selection as per what I showed you. So yes, everything is, oh, this bag is still, even with this outfit, I love my outfit today, by the way. I feel like I need to show you a bit nicer. Sorry, I felt like I wanted to show you this a little bit more like styled, but this with ivory loose fitting jeans. These are my Reese jeans. This is my Aran jumper that I got in Ireland, and then it's almost like a celebration of my travels, because then this is from Master Chabran when we went to Provence, and this is by far one of the nicest wicker basket bags that I have, and I love it so much. I love the little handles. They just feel really elegant and like cute, but you can also obviously go for it underneath like this too. But this is my vibe at the moment when it comes to my outfits. I love this. This jumper is such a like worn piece, and then I'd probably put some sliders with it as well. But unfortunately, my boxes for my boots have not arrived yet, but I'm really happy. I have more than enough for me to style up over the coming months, and I am all ready for the season ahead. It's a good few days spent doing this, which I'm very happy about, and so many of my items have gone to so many good homes, and it's always so lovely for me in these moments when I get to share so much of these things with other people too. It's a joy.